Here's what you missed on Phathead and Cande in the morning. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.
My Country 96.1, Phathead, Cande Roth looking at a beautiful weekend. 75 or so today, 74 tomorrow, 78 Sunday. Got mostly sun and a great fall weekend. Still kind of that hint of summer. Get out and enjoy. Going to be a good time. We have plenty of stuff going on. Sunday, the Fresh Grocer in Oakdale. I'll be out there from 1 to 3. Their event lasts from noon to 6 with free admission, free barbecue. Southbound performs. Deanna line dancing and tons of stuff for the kids. We'll see you in Oakdale on Montauk Highway Sunday prior to the Ashley McBride concert at Eisenhower Park, which is free. You bring a chair, bring a cooler, bring drink, bring food, whatever you want. They let it all in, and you can watch Ashley McBride as the sun sets in Eisenhower Park Sunday, 6 o'clock. They got the big show. So I thought this was great. 20 things we survived as kids that would emotionally destroy kids today. Now, it's tongue-in-cheek. It's supposed to be fun. We're not making fun necessarily of the kids today. However, it could be construed that way. And I have 3 of them. So it's okay. I'm allowed to. Dodgeball in gym class. Kids today, a lot of them would have just got wrecked by the way we used to play we used to go for it, too. Nothing was off limits. Throw that ball right at your head, no doubt. Dodgeball in gym class. As a matter of fact, kind of related to that, I remember, I don't know if it was 2nd grade, 3rd grade, I got nailed in the head. There was a kickball game going on indoors in a gym, and I wasn't looking, and the ball, bam, right in the head, knocked me to the ground. Glasses came off. I remember I had to wear an eye patch. I had like a scratched or torn cornea or something. It was bad. It hurt, for sure. But I got through it. Things that would have wrecked kids today that we battled through. Before computers, having to write multiple drafts by hand. Imagine imagine that, huh? 1st, 2nd, 3rd drafts all written out. Imagine our hands actually survived that. Incredible. Here's a good one. Now, I was never a babysitter as a kid, but I know there were plenty of people that did. Having to babysit infants and small children when you were only 12 years old, right? There were a lot of young kids that got babysitting jobs, and they were younger than they are today. You had 11 and 12-year-olds babysitting infants back in the day. That would have wrecked some young kids and young teens today, for sure. Being bored was a real thing we had to get through. Kids today, they don't know what boredom is. They got everything at their fingertips. Things that would have wrecked kids back, that we did back in the day that we got through that would have wrecked kids today. This is a good one. Going all day at school without a water bottle. Imagine that. Our only option was the fountain in between classes. That water fountain that, always had a certain odor about it, and the water didn't taste exactly right. All day without a water bottle. Can you imagine? Dial-up internet, obviously, that was a killer, waiting for that thing to log on. I don't know if anyone would have get through that today, for sure. Here's a good one. This is actually interesting. The idea of just dealing with not knowing something. Right? How many times a day are you talking to someone or thinking about something? You just Google it. In Wikipedia, Google, Yahoo, whatever, and you find the answer. Last night it happened to me. I was talking to my buddy Josh, and he made a reference to something that sparked a memory, and I said, oh, that was the name of a character in the movie Meatballs. And we talked about the movie Meatballs, and we were wondering what year it was, and we had to look it up. Bill Murray, that whole thing, yeah. Anyway, back in the day, you just have to, if you didn't know, think about that for a second. If you didn't know something, you'd have to go find someone who did, and it may not even be the right answer, or just deal with it. Just walk around not knowing. Incredible. Nothing was on demand back in the day, right? If you chose to go to a party on a Friday night and there was something on TV, sorry, you were out of luck. Parents listening in on landlines. Kids would not be able to handle that today. We had the landline phones, and, somebody or even your sibling would pick up quietly and listen into your phone conversation. Sometimes you couldn't tell that somebody was on the other side, on the other line in the house. This was a good one. Things that would emotionally destroy children today that we dealt with. Calling your friend's house, right? You wanted to speak to your friend. You actually had to call them and call their house. But it was more than that. Chances are you'd have to speak to their parents before you got them on the phone. Hey, is Jenny there? You imagine kids today having to do that, having to go through that process. It's amazing how far we've come. Blowing on video games to make them work. Yes, did that quite a bit with Intellivision, for sure. Loved my Intellivision game system. Ordering stuff from catalogs was one of those things, instead of obviously on Amazon. Instead of texting someone, you had to pass notes in class. Taking tests back in the day. Obviously, test taking a little different today. And the loud ticking of the wall clock, as you're taking a test. I could hear that clock right now in my brain. A quiet classroom, you're taking a test, and you hear the ticking of the wall clock. And here, last one for you. That would have just crushed kids today. Having no autosave on a computer. If you had a computer just crashed, or, one of those early computers, you just had to redo it. Like, there was no autosave. If you didn't save it prior and your computer gave out, that was it. You were done. You're starting over. There you go. We got through all of that and more, by the way. Plenty more to do this morning. Your Bald and the Beautiful Entertainment comes up at about 8:12. National Day's Good News Stories comes up late 8 o'clock hour, and it's National Video Game Day. We'll get into that a little bit. Beautiful weekend, mid to upper 70s, gorgeous. My Country, 96.1.
Phathead and Cande in the morning, weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.